Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is I, Bean Turtle, and today I'm going to be talking about the Solar 3.0 build final form that has only been possible since this season came out, and that is with Zowley's Bane. Between Zowley's Bane and Solar 3.0, as well as the Warlock Starfire Protocol build, you get some unbelievable results. Like, everything you do is an ignition, essentially, between this hand cannon, fusion grenade spam with Starfire Protocol, using the Incinerator Snap melee, using Well of Radiance while you're standing in your Well of Radiance. Every hand cannon kill that you get, or every solar weapon kill, causes an ignition. And the best part is that you get to keep your kinetic/exotic slot open. So I of course really like Wither Horde, as you've seen on this channel. It makes Starfire Protocol extremely easy to use, because what you do is you stick a large target or something with the Wither Horde shot, and while you're standing in an Empowering Rift, and you get a ticking grenade recharge bonus that makes you completely be able to ignore the discipline stat, as well as a few other things, and you just get your fusion grenades back instantly between that and using your hand cannon, which allows you to fire that, forget about it, and keep throwing grenades. It's pretty great. Or you could also run stuff, like Gjallarhorn with this build, and I mean, this is literally replaces Sunshot. In fact, it's better in my opinion than Sunshot. The damage that the explosions do from Incandescent is better than Sunshot is in general. So starting with the subclass, I am of course running Warlock Solar Well of Radiance. In Restoration, a huge damage buff, and it's just got a big radius. It counts as a big Empowering Rift with a damage buff. While you don't have your Well of Radiance, Empowering Rift is really good. Now, if you're a long-term Warlock user, you generally default to using Healing Rift like I did, but because of the fact that Warlock healing is usually pretty difficult unless you're running Devour. So if you have Empowering Rift on, I'll get to that in a second. There is a way around healing, since they removed Restoration, Class 2 Restoration from last season. And then, of course, I use the Incinerator Snap. I think it's cool. It's a unique little melee ability that fires out a bunch of little projectiles when you snap your fingers. Each dart deals, I'm not sure if it's 15 or 30 Scorch stacks, but in my experience, if you hit all or most of the little darts that come out of the Incinerator Snap on a single enemy, it ignites. So you just get a free ignition with one ability. So if you're like right next to a boss or something, it'll ignite them instantly. And also it's a little bit more consistent than Celestial Fire, but it's really just a preference thing. And then of course, to make Starfire Protocols work, you need fusion grenades. Making fusion grenades better, they're like stickies. Making fusion grenades better, Touch of Flame. Your fusion grenades explode twice and they do a lot more damage. I run Icarus Dash because it's a nice movement ability, and frankly Heat Rises isn't as useful as it was before, because you don't use your melee as much in my opinion. Then for fragments, I'm using Ember of Combustion, so that every solar kill that I get on in my well causes an explosion, or every solar weapon kill anyway. Ember of Torches, power melee attacks, so attacks with your Incinerator Snap make you radiant, increasing your damage. Ember of Ashes, you apply more Scorch stacks, which also affects Incandescent on your hand cannon. That's important. And Ember of Empyrean, all Radiant and Restoration effects are extended by solar weapon and ability kills, so that's really easy to keep going, and your Radiant stacks end up staying at 12 seconds, essentially forever. So as I said, Ember of Ashes increases the damage, and the stacks, I mean, of Incandescent for your Zowley's Bane, which you can get, by the way, from the King's Fall raid. It is brand new. I got extremely lucky. I don't think that many people at all have this crafted. But if you get an Incandescent roll, keep it. It's really, really good. If you get an Explosive Incandescent roll, masterwork it, as it's really good. So according to LightGG, unenhanced Incandescent does 30 stacks of Scorch with Ember of Ashes to targets around it. So when you get the kill on an enemy, there's like an explosion, kind of looks like Firefly, and every enemy that is near that gets the 30 stacks of Incandescent. You need 100 for an ignition, all right? But with Enhanced, it goes up to, I think it was 40, they said, and then with Ember of Ashes equipped, which we do have, is 85. So that means that you, according to Dim, it might be wrong, but I'm not sure. but that means that every 2 kills you get next to a third enemy, you'll get an ignition on that third enemy, which wipes huge amounts of, huge explosions. To make it easier to kill enemies as well, I put explosive payload on it because it gets a huge, I think it's like a 15% for free extra damage on the hand cannon, and since it's a 140 hand cannon, the range isn't too good, and it extends the range out much further to where you can actually easily kill things, sort of like Fatebringer. In fact, you can get the exact same roll that I have on my Fatebringer on Sally's Bane as well. You can have Explosive Firefly. And then I put a minor spec on it, mostly because it makes it easier to kill most enemies. And they fall over anyway in a few shots, most red bars, but it's a little bit of a bonus to damage on that. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, Starfire Protocol, if you don't know what that does, fusion grenades have an additional charge, so you carry 2 of them, and recharge from, quote, empowered weapon damage. So when you're standing in an empowering rift or a well of radiance, if you shoot an enemy, you will gain a small amount of your grenade back. By small, I mean it's like 10-15% of your grenade. But if you stick, say, Wither Horde to it that does damage over time and does consistent damage, you will be gaining your grenade back really quickly. In under about 3 seconds, you'll get a grenade back. So you can throw a grenade, do stuff, shoot things, whatever, throw another grenade, do stuff, shoot things, throw another grenade, throw another grenade. It's great. And then fusion grenade kills grant rift energy. If you accidentally or purposely, it doesn't matter, just hit an enemy with your fusion grenades, which do a lot of damage, by the way, especially on the second explosion. You just get your fusion, empowering rift, and the mods that help tie this build all together. If you've been around for a while, you've seen this exact setup more or less over and over again on my channel because it's just so good. Ashes to assets for bonus super energy and grenade kills. It seems like you get way more energy for some reason from the solar fusion grenades than you do from others, but that might just be me not being observant. I just feel like I get my wells way faster than I should. And then Bountiful Wells, each elemental well mod that causes a well to spawn will stack it, allowing you to spawn more than one elemental well. Elemental Ordnance 1 and 2, this time is a little different. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass type, so it'll spawn solars. On my boots, I have Seeking Wells. Seeking Wells is a quality of life thing. It makes it to where when you get a grenade kill with elemental ordnance, the wells that you spawn will actually, when they hit the ground, they will track towards you. They'll seek at you like Arc Traces do from Arc 3.0 and stuff like that. So it is a very nice little quality of life thing, and makes it to where getting your grenade back is way easier. And then finally, since we don't have restoration, classy restoration like we did last year, or last season, Well of Life is a solar well mod that some of you, if you're new, might not have. If you don't, go to Ada1 in the tower. She's across from Drifter, and she sells a different mod every single day, and so occasionally she'll have the chance of having this Well of Life. But what it does is you pick up a solar elemental well, and it grants you, quote, increased regeneration. That's not actually what it does. What it does is it gives you 10 seconds of healing. It's slow healing, but it is healing. So it gives you essentially like you're standing in a healing rift, but while you're moving, and for picking up an elemental well, which means that you can still do the old combo, which is sitting in an empowering rift like you could last season with Starfire Protocol, and not die, which is nice. Dying is not fun. Is it as good as it was last season? No, certainly not. I really wish that Bungie did not remove restoration. The only way that I'm pretty sure Warlocks can get actual restoration is by throwing healing grenades at our feet, and I think the only way you can get restoration 2 is by throwing 2 of them at your feet, and I just don't think that that's reasonable, because it makes you trade off all that what Warlocks are good for, which is spamming grenades between Sunbracers, Starfire Protocol, and that kind of thing. So I really hope that they bring that back for us somehow, or even if they bring it as like a column 3 perk on a new gun or something that's like you gain restoration when you get 2 kills or something like that. Like, that would be awesome. But until we have something like that, restoration is essentially non-existent on Warlocks. Alright everyone, that was the build. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out and keeps me going at making these videos, and if you like them, be sure to tell me, because I will definitely continue to do so. My next one I think that I'm going to look at, I'm going to finish up an Arc 3.0 build I've got going with the new Fallen Sunstar exotic, and then I'll start looking at other characters like the new Arc Strider Super and stuff like that for hunters, and that'll be a lot of fun. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.